Hello farmers and welcome back to Griffin, Indiana. We are now in the month of October and today the soybean harvest will start. Shouldn't take us too long to do that. Well, we're not going to be doing that. Frank and Frank Jr. will be kind of busy doing that. Well, actually just Frank, because we only need to run the combine. Pretty much all we need to be doing. We're going to be the Deutz-Fahrer and we're going to be plowing the cornfield that we just harvested last time where I did such a beautiful job doing the corn silage and piling it into our silo bunkers. In the meantime, we're going to fill this trailer with some silage because the cows are going through the silage like mad now. Well, this is going to get worse and worse because we're feeding them quite a bit now per run. It's 50,000 liters per trip, and every trip is 25,000 liters, and we're feeding them about twice a day, give or take. Sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. So I'm good for another day, but I'm going to try to top it off as we can. That's why we got the trailer here. And that's why we got the belt system. I say that's why we got the belt system. Are you not in range? I know that trailer is not full yet. Ain't no flipping way that trailer is full yet. Let's go ahead and back it up as close as we can without making it do the dance. I don't want it to do that. But that should be good enough. I need to drop off the trailer, grab the Peterbilt. We got to grab our grain trailer, head on down to the soybean field. So let's go ahead and do that. I probably should show you because it's been a couple of days. We're over 300. I think we were at like 295 at the end of the last episode. Now up to 313. And the numbers keep going up. Money went up because at the end of the last episode, I don't know if you remember, I said I had about 20,000 liters of milk left in the tank. I came up and sold it because it was $1,400 per 1,000 liters, if you can remember that. Oh, do I got straw bales? Yes, I got straw bales there. Okay, we're all set. Also, what we're going to be doing today is a little bit of landscaping around the silo bunkers down there. Not a whole lot, just so that when I restart the game and Course Play scans a field, because we put the silo bunker right in that field, I want to make sure that it knows where the boundary actually is. And honestly, it looks like total crap down there with the corn stalks around the silo bunker. So we're going to try to make it look a little bit better down there. Here is our grain trailer that holds 120,000 liters. Hopefully we get a whole bunch of soybeans. Next season, we're going to have a whole bunch of soybeans to sell because we missed this past summer's sale. I shouldn't say sale because when it's at great demand, I should be saying the great demand. We missed a great demand. Or the peak. It wasn't really at a great demand, just peak. Anyways, yeah, we didn't sell soybeans last year, so we got like 200,000 liters. And yes, I've been driving across my farmer's field because there's nothing in it. And this is going to be our field here in the future. I'm hoping maybe next season. I want this to be corn next year along with that field right there because I think we're going to need it. We pretty much are going to need it. Let's get right over to here and we're going to park the truck and trailer right here, I guess. I kind of forgot at the end of the episode because of all the rumblings around I did with the New Holland forage harvester and now the Chrome forage harvester. I kind of missed a little path here when I was trying to do a course play and all that. We're just going to let it be because that's too much work to do get that little bit of amount of corn. So let's grab the Fendt 10T. Let's get right over to here and we'll say it's Frank Jr. that's going to be working here today. Make sure I'm on the combine. Let's go ahead and unfold the combine because that's kind of key for the harvest. Let's not hit any telephone poles. Boy, these soybeans kind of look like they're withered, not ready for harvest. That's kind of scary. So potential harvest quantity is 27,367 liters. Is that per hectare or can't be per hectare, can it? Because that'd be, I don't know. I never came to the field and read what the potential harvest quantity is. But anyways, they are ready for harvest. Let's go ahead and get Frank. Did I say Frank or Frank Jr.? I don't know. Don't care. Let's get them working. Let's go ahead and let's see. We want to do generate course. This is field 13 or 17, should matter. I'd like you to do 2 headlands, but my guess is you're not going to. Let's do 3% overlap on the edges of the field and generate course. The reason why I may not do 2 passes is because this little loop down here, but it will do 2 passes. Congratulations, I kind of like that. Let's go ahead and get out of that. No, I need you to stop at the start of the first waypoint, and you should be good to go. Let's go ahead and turn that off there. And go ahead and harvest those soybeans, please. Go right to town. You are good to go. The pH value is okay in this field. So next year, this will be wheat, barley, or oats. I think I'm kind of doing a crop rotation. And this year it was... What did we do this year? I already forgot what I did this year in this field. Looks like it was oats that we did. So I might do wheat this upcoming season. Or next season. The season that we're going to kind of skip, but not skip. Okay, well, let's get over to here now. I got to put some stuff away because winter is just around the corner here in Griffin, Indiana. Got to wash some stuff up, put some stuff away. So I did get all the chaff compacted. It's now covered. We're at about 40%. Milk tanker's down here. The new Crone forage harvester is over here. That works well with the header. We got the original header that we had to begin the series. If you saw last episode, you know what I went through. I just couldn't forage harvest at 6 miles an hour. It's just going to be... It was too slow for this field here alone. And we're going to need more corn chaff in the future, so... Yeah, I just don't have that much time to go at 6 miles an hour. Funny thing is, I think I talked about it in a month from now when FS22 comes out. I will be having to do it 6 miles an hour because no mods. Before we get to plowing this field, because, yeah, it's got corn, so we need to... it's what, 10%? 15%? If the plow needs to be... If the plow needs to be field, if the field needs to be plowed, you lose 10 to 15% of the harvest. So we're going to make sure that we're good and plowed. But before we do that, let's come into landscaping because it's been ages since I've done it. No, what button do I want here? Is it C? I thought it was C. There we go, C. Nice little square. And we're going to put in, first off, we're going to put in, I think that's grass. That looks like weeds. No, that's weeds. That looks like it's grass. Alright, let me go ahead and curl around this way. Is that grass or weeds? It's hard to tell. Alright, we just want to come straight across. So I can't get it lined up with that, so that's okay. We shall make it work. Let's go ahead and put grass in. Different types of grass. I'm trying to see what grass... That's the grass we're looking for. Let's make sure we get it matching all the other grass around here. Oh no! Alright, and then we want grass along here. Yeah, I just can't stand the look of the old corn stalk lying around here. So I'm going to put grass along there. And then, of course, grass right along here. So now when the game reloads, it's not going to see this as a field and course play. It should have no problem figuring out things. Alright, we're going to put grass all the way down into here like this. Alright, now we want to go over to... Do I want to match... No, that's not what we want to need here. Is that it? Bueller? There we go. Let's go ahead and match up some of this concrete around here. Because you want to extend it a little bit because we're going to be going in and out of here quite a bit with some heavy equipment. So, all right, that's good for there. And then over to here. All right, let's go back to do it like this. And now we're just going to go, not concrete out to the field, but we're just going to go ahead and put some dirt around here. And we're going to do the same thing to here. Now I want to go back to grass, and I also want to... Is it Control, E, or Q? I forgot which buttons were which. Let's turn on the HUD because I forgot what I need to do here. I want to change the radius of that. Nope, that's a bush. I wish the ground type would actually show what I'm putting down here, because they all look the same when it comes to the grass part. And now we're just going to kind of like put some grass in here and there. That way it doesn't look like it's completely squared. I don't want it completely square around here. That will do. And we got to get rid of this. Well, that didn't cost me that much cash. I wasn't watching the cash flow. I completely forgot. I just got so focused on getting the ground kind of the way we want it for now. But I'm hoping sometime after, I don't want to say we were just going to skip a year, but after next year, we should have a lot of cash and hopefully do some more landscaping around here to make things a little bit more on the up and up. Let's see, how are we doing here? Okay, we're not filling up too much. You're already going around the second headland, which is good. That's going to take a while to fill up. The cows, we already know are good. This is kind of... I'm going to go ahead and get this... No, I better leave it parked here. I wasn't going to park it in the field, but I forgot to look which way course play was going. I don't know if it's going to go north, south, or east, west. I have no idea. Alright, so my job is grab the Deutz-Fahrer, which we were kind of near to begin with, and get this corn stubble plowed into the ground, because I could plant... Can I plant canola now, or do I want to wait until next season? Canola... I could plant canola now, and that way it'll get a good head start on next season. So we'll probably go ahead and do that. So let's get this plowed. Maybe that's why I left the cedar, the 1870 cedar and air tank out, so we can get this plowed. Not plowed, but planted. Alright, so I want to make sure this is not on louder create fields. Okay, so that is turned off, which is good. So if I go over the edge, it's not going to create a field. And yes, this is a modded subsoiler, so we're going to be able to subsoil at a pretty decent speed here. Let's go ahead and drop that into the ground. And we'll turn the HUD back off. I don't like to have a lot of stuff on the screen that's not necessary, like the HUD. I don't like having that on. Sometimes I may even just do that, which we can do because I don't need to be looking at the time, date. We're running at 1 time the speed. Money's not going to go up. None of that's important. I don't have a tank on my end I have to pay attention to. So let's play with a screen with no HUD display on it. How about that? So yeah, it shouldn't take me too long to get this field subsoiled. Then we'll grab the Steiger, the 1870, whip around here, and we know that's not going to take me long to go ahead and put some canola into it. The only thing I may have to do is definitely put some seed into the air tank because I got about 1,000 liters left, and that's not going to get the job done here. But I want to get the canola in now. That way it has a good head start next season. We can harvest it as soon as we can and get the crop cycle going. So the next step for the farm, definitely, by the way, I can see we're going through silage. I'm set on silage for another year, easy. Well, I say easy. I think we're easily set on silage for the cows. But definitely want to buy the field behind us or field number 29. Field number 29 I know is like 800 grand. Should not be that much of a problem getting that much cash, I don't think. We got a good amount of oats and some canola to sell this winter. Of course, we'll keep making some milk, or the cows will. So I'll be able to sell some milk, and of course soybeans in the summertime. But I got to have that money before summer because we plant the corn. Well, it could be give or take right around there. So I guess all depends how we get along here for the next year, see how much money we got. I don't plan on buying any equipment, but then again, last episode I wasn't planning on buying any equipment, and I ended up trading in our New Holland forage harvester for the Krone, just so I could use the header correctly. the modded header that I'd like to use. So that was like an extra 200 grand out of our piggy bank. But in the long run, it's definitely going to pay off because I need a forage harvest at a much faster rate than what I was with the New Holland and the in-game header. I don't have that much free time. I think to forage harvest this field and get that job done, it probably would have taken me like an hour and a half. And now with the modded header, I can probably do it in like 25-30 minutes. So it makes my life a little bit easier. And it's good to know that course play does work well on the forage harvester. I just never tried it before, or needed to. And now that I use it, I know well enough that it works just fine. So that makes my job a little bit easier. One thing I need to really get well on, and we're going to be doing it here quite a few more times in Griffin, Indiana, is putting the chaff into the silo bunker and finding an easy way to just go ahead and unload it and then compact it. I think I'm going to go back to the thing I used to do all the time, which was just back up the trailer into the silo bunker to like the far one end and just dump out all the contents of the trailer and slowly move forward until it takes all it can get. And then after, instead of, driving through and dropping it, I'll just back it in and dump it. And then after it gets completely full or we're done, the Steiger will get in there and go ahead and compact it. So that'll just I think that'll make it just a little bit easier. So yeah, now we're over 300 cattle, which is hooray. We're at 15%. We were almost there last episode. I don't think we were there last episode, but we definitely are now. So we're at 300. I wanted to be at 300 by the end of the year. We're in October. We're at 300, and it seems like I'm getting like 10 cattle a day, which seems high, honestly. Because once a cow gives offspring, I don't think it can give offspring again for another year. And of course, a lot of those cattle are under 2 years of age, which means they cannot have offspring. So I think the total amount of cattle we get per day is probably going to go back down a little bit. But so far, like I said, there are we haven't lost any cattle since we put them in there. So I'm not sure what the age expectancy is going to be on seasons for 6 days, 6-day seasons. I'm going to guess the cattle can live to be 10 to 12 years old on 6-day seasons. That's what I'm going to assume. And I'm not sure what I want to do yet. I'm not sure if I want to just, when the cattle get up to that age expectancy, just leave them there. If they die, they die. Or do I want to sell them? I don't know. So, I mean, I will get, like, maybe... I haven't sold one yet, but I think I may have tried another series. I may get, like, what I sell a full-grown cow for may pay for a new one, but we're not buying new cattle. So... And the money is not really worth it to me, so I may just leave the cows in there. Because I could sell a cow expecting it to die at 10, and it could live to be 12 years old, and I'm going to miss out on 2 years of milk that cow could have given. So we may just let them pass away of old age, if you will. Now, I could always install the meat market. We did that in the Pacific Northwest. So when a cow reaches a certain age, we can go ahead and bring it down to be processed. And we'll get lots of money through the meat processing area. But I'd rather not do that because we did that on the Pacific Northwest for quite a while. And I kind of want to stay from the factories now that we're getting that much closer to FS22. And FS22 is going to have factories in the base game. I'm pretty sure we'll be doing that when that series starts. So I'm going to try to stay away from factories for the next month or so. Yeah, 1 month. We're 1 month away from FS22. Like I said, it's not going to take me too long to get this field subsoiled. And then we're going to go ahead and plop down canola. I'm just going to double check here because I kind of forgot. I know field number 29 is like 810,000, right? Okay, so it's 801. Field 31, and I guess we do get field number 12. That's 477. Well, 477, I think we can get there before the corn is ready to be planted next year. the way the cows are making milk and the crops that we are finally getting, I don't think that's going to be too much of an issue. So it seems like every 12 hours, like I said, I sold the rest of the milk that we had, and I got the mod to where the cows are milked at 6 a.m. and 6 p.m. So I emptied all the milk out of the container or wherever it's being held up there. And when it came time for them to be milked, I got about maybe 17,000 liters of milk in one milking. So you do that twice a day, that's 34,000 liters. But if I remember correctly, in seasons, cows will give more milk at certain times of the year and less milk at other times of the year. So I think summertime is the peak time of the year that they give milk, and wintertime they don't give as much milk. So I can't base it on, I'm going to get 34,000 liters per day of milk right now with 300 cattle. We're just going to get what we get and sell it when the price is good. So this will probably be, now I'm going to get back on to kind of fast forwarding through next season. This should be the last episode before we do that. So next episode, basically it will be wintertime, and I think what I'm going to do for next season is kind of do like a highlights of the year. So when winter comes, I'll just show like a couple clips of me like delivering the oats and the canola and showing what our total is, and every once in a while I'll show how many cattle we got, a couple brief things of me just like planting. But what I would like to do, if I can get next season done in 2 episodes, that'd be pretty good, I think. So I mean, I don't know what to really expect by the end of next year, what my goal is. So like I said, this year I wanted to have 300 cattle by the end of the year. We've done that, or they did that, I guess. Could we get 500 cattle by the end of next season? I think so, because we got a lot of young cattle that are going to be turning the age of where they can reproduce. So hopefully, yes. That's what I'm going to say. I'm going to shoot for 500. Yeah, start off slow just because we didn't have that many cattle. So when you only have like 20 cattle, it's going to take, and they all reproduce one. It slowly doubles. And now that we got 300, I mean, there's a possibility if you just say, well, it can double 300 to 600. But like I said, I think there is a time span to where when a cow gives an offspring, I don't think they can have another offspring for another year. The one thing I'm not sure, when I have all the HUD turned off, I think core display will still show me. I think that will override it and tell me when they're full. Although, like I said, they're harvesting soybeans, so it's going to take a while to fill that on up. So with the amount of fields we got, with the soybean we got, I'm expecting to get, I don't know, 200,000 liters of soybean maybe. So I think we got 2 more fields this year than what we had last year when we harvested the soybean. Hard to remember, but this series all started with this Deutz fire and this subsoiler, pretty much. I think we started with this setup right here in field number 1, because that basically when you start on the map, usually most of the fields need to be plowed. So that was like the first job we did, was plowed that field, and then we planted. Actually, there might have been crop in the field, honestly. So we may have harvested the crop, or did I can't really remember. I'm going to say we plowed the field and then put grass in it. No, I take that back. Now that I think about it, I probably actually put a cereal crop in the field, I may have plowed the field first and then planted in the cereal crop because I knew we were going to need some straw for the cows. So that was like the first step, start getting some straw built up. And then I started doing contracts for other people, and I kept keeping the straw from them. So we turned field number 1 into a grass field. Then that was after we made the grass field. The grass field. I'm going to whip around here for about another 5 minutes. I'll probably get the majority of this field done. Then we'll grab the Steiger and the 1870 drill, and we'll throw down some canola in this field in a matter of minutes. Like I said, I'm going to put a little bit of seed in. I'm not going to fill up the tank completely just because the cache is kind of on the low side. I don't need that much seed, and I don't want all that extra seed sitting in the tank for a year. So we'll just put enough in just to get us by. But yep, let me get most of this field done, and then we'll start drilling it with some canola. Almost done, and I think the combine has been doing rather well. I actually just saw them. They were off in the distance. I could see them turning around the field. So the combine's going north to south, and I know they're still running because it was moving. I am kind of curious, though. I don't know why, but I'm noticing field number 12, that is. And it looks like they put lime down on the field, but I can't be why it looks so white over there. Do they plant cotton over there? Is that a thing? Did they actually plant cotton over there? I may actually have to run up and see why the field looks so white. Although now looking at it, looks like our soybean field looks just as white as that one almost. So maybe it's just the way the crop looks off in the distance. Not too sure. But we are just about done here. At least subsoiling the field in. Before we get to planting with the Steiger and the 1870, I am going to grab our Peterbilt truck and go over and unload the combine. That way I'm not in the middle of seeding and I get a notice that the combine needs to be unloaded. Yeah, so it's this way the field is kind of rendered in, kind of a thing. Alright, let's go ahead and I'm going to park this by the pressure washer. We're going to give it a good wash. Before I put it away for another year. I know I talked about it before, but the best washing system I ever used was an FS15. It looked like an automatic car wash where you drove in and you had to tell it if it was a combine or whatever. It wasn't cheap though either. So I'm trying to remember what combine. I'm going to say it was a CR. It was maybe the New Holland CR 1090 combine in there. It was like $600 to wash it. Yeah, so it wasn't cheap. It wasn't like you drove in and it was a free thing. It was like, yeah, $600 to wash the combine. But it was well done mod. It was animated and how it went back and forth like a car going through the car wash, just like that. Yeah, the Steiger is fine. I can get that out here. And the drill and everything should be good to go. Well, let's go grab the Peterbilt. And hopefully we can catch the combine in the right direction. There's our corn header, which I don't think I've used yet. I may have done it in the contracts, but as for us, no, I have not used it yet. Okay, I don't see the combine anywhere. Let me turn on the HUD and make sure Courseplay is not telling me something. Maybe the combine is full and I didn't get the message because the header, the HUD display was off. No, it looks like they're turning around and coming back up this way, so we'll wait for it to come up and turn around so I can unload it. I know I mentioned it a few episodes ago, and I actually saw a YouTube video not long ago on it. Is the honeybee header, the draper header, a 60-footer, and the headers that I'm using are 45 or 23.3 meters. A 60-foot header. I don't know. You got to have a real powerful combine to run a 60-foot header because that is a lot of stuff going through the head. through the thrasher or the combine. So I don't expect to get a full trailer here. I guess it all depends on how much we get out of here if I got to go up and unload it. I mean, I'm going to have to unload it at some point because actually looking at it, the combine, you can see the grain getting near the top. So it's going to be about 100,000 liters I'm going to get. So I better go up and, after we unload the combine, go ahead and unload the trailer because we're about halfway through this field and it's got another half to go. Good thing is, though, it's not raining today. It's a nice sunny day, so we're going to get the fields harvested. Not going to plant nothing in these fields here until next season because we're not in a rush to get the cereal crop into the field. We have a good rotation with the cereal crop / soybean, so we're all good there. Hopefully I can get this combine completely unloaded by the time we get down to the other end. Now that I can see them in the field, I'll bring it on up. So at one point I was thinking about taking care of the weeds in the fields. I think I'm going to skip that because see, we're not getting that much for weed growth in the fields. I got it as a standard setting. I think it's like a 7% in seasons is the standard setting you can have for weed growth. So I don't think it's worth my time and money to take care of the amount of weeds. We're just not getting that many. We are going to get a full, well, almost a full trailer. Not going to worry about trying to top it on off. Let's go put this into the silo. When I come back on down, we can grab the Steiger 1870 and throw canola into that field. Can I get done before they get done harvesting this field? I'm going to say yes. Yes? Probably? I think so. I mean, I subsoiled the field in half the time they took them to combine this. It's not going to take me that long to seed it. Every time I pull up to the silo with some grain into it, I like the way it looks up here with a little bit of, I don't really want to call that a pond. It's not really big enough to be a pond, I don't think. This looks awfully nice, I think. Go ahead and jump on out and see that soybean total climb on up. So yeah, I got 400,000 liters of oats to sell this winter along with 100,000 liters of canola. That alone could get us close to buying field number, what field number is that again? 31. 31/12. That way we got 2 corn fields here. I think it'd just be better off buying it. That way we're prepped to go. And soybeans, 312,000 liters. It got it all in there. Perfect. Let's zip back on down. Get that all set to go. Time to throw some canola into the ground. That way it'll be ready for harvest earlier than usual. Because last year, yeah, I keep switching the corn around a little bit. So I think I threw our harvest off just a tad. Now we'll get the canola down, winter canola if you will. It should get about a growth stage in before winter hits, I think, and that way next spring it's got a good start on it. Field number 11 is one right in front of us. That's another field I could possibly buy and do corn chaff in it. And if need be in the distant future, if I need more bunkers, I got room down here to do so. I'm just going to park the truck right here. I think it'd be good. Squeeze through there. I do like the setup I have going here. I like using all the equipment that I have. It's not like I get in something that's like I got to do this job. I don't like the the tractor or the implement that I'm using. Everything that I'm using here, I like using it. I know it sounds kind of weird saying that, but there's sometimes I play on a series, and there's sometimes I just don't like using the tractor that I'm using. It's not because of the tractor, it's just the setup or the job that we're doing. But as you all know, I mentioned many times the Steiger and and driller we're about to use. I do love this. Let's see here. Which way does that pipe go out? It's been a while since I loaded this up with some seed. I got to remember how... Yeah, so I got to get way over here. And unfold the cover so it can open up and then get that trigger. Did I get that? Wow, I got that right the first try. Perfect. We'll just throw some in there. I don't want to fill it up because this thing will take 30,000 liters. But you know what? Now we'll just fill it to about 10,000. $6 grand. Now we don't want soybean. We want to be planting canola. Just to refresh my memory, that's what we're doing on the crop rotation, right? It's corn and canola. Yeah. So this is the rotation that we're doing, and this is the reason why we do it. So if you're unfamiliar with seasons, there is a crop rotation. So depending on what you plant for one crop after another, you could get a bad yield or a good yield. Corn canola does really good. We get a positive on both yields. So we're getting an extra 0.14 and an extra 0.08 on those two crops. Wheat, soybean, we do pretty good on... It doesn't matter if it's wheat, barley, or oats. It's a cereal crop, sees it as. But we're getting 0.14 extra return on that. Now we're losing 0.5 return on the soybean. But since we're in seasons and we're doing two crops in a field, in each field, that's about the best rotation I found anyways. Well, I didn't look at cotton and all those other type of things, but yeah, so that's where we stand here. Let's go ahead and unfold our 1870. Yeah, I don't mind putting the silo bunker down where we did. That little section of the field sometimes it was nice to have the field there because it gave you more crop, obviously. But that little peninsula just seemed to be sometimes a nuisance a little bit in a way to where with course play or things getting... I don't want to say things ever got stuck there, but it was a little bit sometimes a hassle. It wasn't really a hassle. You know what I'm trying to say. Sometimes it just didn't quite fit there. Alright, so there is 1870 down. Let's go ahead and whip it on. I love hearing the air whipping the seeds down to the drill so we can get planting. It's going to be a little bit of a shocker when FS22 comes out, and like I said, when that comes out, I kind of want to stay small on the first farm. The question is, will I stay small? I'm not too sure. We'll see how it goes. But going from a drill this size down to probably when we start that farm, because I have a couple, I don't know exactly how I'm going to go with yet. I have a couple ways I want to approach the farm. It will be starting off small, but the question is how small. I really haven't had a good look at the maps yet. I know they released some video footage of the American map. At this point now, it's been a couple months, and I completely forgot everything about it. But I do know I was liking the looks of it. So until I actually get on it and actually say how I want to start it, yeah, it's definitely going to be small. It's not going to be with a 23 meter wide drill. Probably a 6 meter wide at the biggest. But then again, it all depends on how the starting fields are, how I set up to get going with. I'm pretty sure once I, Steam downloads FS22 the day it comes out, probably for the first hour I'll be in the game just looking at the map and just like, okay, how am I going to approach this? Exactly how am I going to do it? Because I don't know where the starter home's going to be, and I may want to not have the starter home there. Are we going to be allowed to do that? I think we should be allowed to. I didn't hear anything. Is there going to be like a new farmer, season farmer, what do they call it? I already forgot. When you start a map, there's 3 choices you get, like experienced farmer, to where you own nothing, kind of a thing. I did like that when 19 came out. It allowed us to, so I mean, most of the maps I start playing on, I don't usually like having the starter equipment there. I like, because most of the time what do you do is when you play in a map, or used to, is you start the map and it's like, you start looking at the starter equipment that you get, and half the stuff that you have, it's like, I don't want that stuff. So I ended up selling it anyways. So most of the time on 19, when I started a map or Let's Play, I always started on to where you own nothing and you get the cash. But most of the time, we start off with a storyline, kind of like this one here. I mean, I did the same thing. Start with nothing, no land, nothing. And I gave ourselves, well, originally I gave myself $2 million to start building the map the way I wanted it. It ended up costing me $4 million the way it started. Hence all the contracts in the beginning. And I mean all the contracts. And right now my original plan is in FS22 when it comes out, I don't want to do any contracts on the first Let's Play. But then again, if they change the way it's done, I may do it just to see how it's done. But definitely the first map, like I said, we're going to be playing on the American map. Going to definitely have seasons on, because I want to see how Giants does seasons. I'm pretty sure we're going to see a lot of similarities, even though they said it's not the same as what we've been using since. I thought seasons may have come out late in 15, or was it just in 17? I think in 15 it was an idea that they were, I can't remember now. I really can't. But anyways, yeah, the first map is definitely going to be the American map with seasons on. Small equipment-ish. See how long I stick to that small equipment-ish kind of a thing, because we all know me. The second I can afford something bigger and get the job done quicker, that's what I'm probably going to do. But I would like to take the first series kind of slow, and the reason why I always try to take the first series slow is it's probably going to take a while for modded maps to come out, so there's no rush to, I don't want to bull rush through all the equipment and have like the biggest equipment and all that. Just say like 4 weeks after the game's been out, and then we're just waiting for a modded map to come out. Of course, we'll probably still running the series. I don't think I'm going to have 2,000 cows in the next month or so. And then, of course, I still have Wither Farms and that storyline going. So I'm not quite sure what I'm going to be doing with that series yet, if you've been watching that series. I'm not sure if I'm going to, quote-unquote, move on from Wither Farms. I've done a lot more episodes on that series than I thought I did, even though I've taken a couple breaks from that series. The only issue is I have not thought of a storyline that would make me leave Wither Farms, so if I were to leave there and continue the story, or I don't know if I would just end the story at Wither Farms and don't know. Got a lot of thinking to do, and thinking is not my strong point. Sometimes it's just nice to get into a game, press play, and not have to think. But I can't help myself when it comes to games. When I hit play, I try to look at them like, okay, what's the best way to approach this and be proficient, make money. Kind of like this series, or all my series for that matter. I always try to make sure we make the best equipment to make the best amount of money. As I keep zigzagging in this field, the one thing I would love to see in the new Farming Simulator game, but I'm pretty sure it's all set in stone at this point. I haven't heard anything about it. But maybe it could be a thing. As I was, of course, working this field, we got Frank over there, or Frank Jr. I don't know who's harvesting over there, but it would be kind of cool to see other farmers working like on their own fields. It's like, say, the field right in front of us. We don't own that field, but it'd be kind of cool if all of a sudden you just see like a tractor pop up and they're working in their own fields. I don't think, I think one reason why they probably don't do that, maybe just it would take up too much of some people's PCs, not being able to, I don't know, have other AI tractors, if you will, working in their own fields. Could be the reason being. But with the new generation of consoles, maybe they could add that in at some point. And there we have it. There is our canola field for next season. I better make sure I got it all planted. I don't think I missed anything. Yep, it's looking all good here. Kind of looks weird not to see that little peninsula here. And we can see Frank, or Frank Jr., is just about done over there. So I'm going to bring this on over near the pressure washer because this stuff needs to be cleaned. The seed, the air tank, the air cart needs to go over by the corn header. And the drill, I need to lather it up with some lard to stick it between these pipes into this shed here. I just park it like right here. I think the hose of the pressure washer will reach all of them. Actually, you know what? I probably just make my life a little bit easier. Let's move this tractor and the subsoiler. Since I do have a little bit of time before they're done harvesting that field over there. Got a few minutes. Attach that. Just pull the tractor forward a little bit, turn her off. Steiger needs a little bit of a wash off. I mean, technically now that we got the silo bunker down here, and I'm not driving across any bridges, I could put triples on that Steiger, but I think that might be just getting a little bit too much for me. I think the duals look just fine. I think triples may just add a little bit too much for what we're doing here. And probably make it that much harder to steer. And also, I don't think triples would fit through the beams of the shed back here either. The pressure hose will reach that far. And then we'll leave this here for a little while, let the sun beat down on it and dry it on off before I go ahead and put it all away. No ball game in the middle of October. Too bad that wasn't a town job to mow the ball field. I would like to kind of see that come back in like an FS15 before they had the contracts page and all that. You used to have to go to a town board and take jobs that way. But the jobs back in FS15, there were no working in field jobs. There were jobs where you just had to basically the most tools that you needed for those town jobs were you needed a front loader with a pallet spike pallet lift on it, because you'd have to deliver, as we see, I think still now, even though I don't do them anymore, is yeah, you take pallets from one place, point A to point B. And other ones you would have to mow like the park and such like that. I'm not even close enough for you to reach. But I think it'd be kind of neat if they went back to like the town board system to where that's where you get your jobs from. Am I not close enough, really? I shall get close enough. Can the truck fit underneath that? Barely. There we go. Turn the truck off there. Alright, let's hop into here. Stop the driver and clear off that course. Alright, we're going to go harvest field number 14. That's the smaller one. And that's how we're going to finish off the episode. I know I got one more field to go after that, but we're going to send Frank and Frank Jr. to finish harvesting that. And like I said, I believe next episode, I'm going to try to do that to where we do a highlights of next season, starting with this winter selling grain and so forth. So I want to do it in like 2 episodes. So do like a winter, spring, summer for episode 1, and then fall, winter, possibly for the 2nd episode. What I do know it's going to be is it's going to be a lot of work to cram into 1 episode. So it may be like a 30 to 45 minute episode, but it's going to take me hours to get all this work done, because I don't know how many episodes I do in a year now. I'm going to say probably at least 8. Does 8 seem like the right amount? So I'm going to try to stick basically like 4 episodes into 1. That's what I'm going to try to do. And like I said, I don't plan on buying any fields if I can help it. But I mean, if I do any major purchases, you'll see that. I don't think it's going to be like a time-lapse kind of an episode. It's going to be just, it's going to still be me talking, I do believe. So, but this is going to be like highlights of like selling crops. So like usually when I sell crops, I probably like show the first delivery and the last delivery. I may just show like the last delivery of, like in winter when I sell the oats and the canola, I'm not going to show the last delivery of oats and the last delivery of canola. It's going to be the last delivery of all the grain that we have, so we can see the money total go on up. I will kind of see how the cows are going through the feed, and if need be, we will go ahead and purchase field 31, and that way we'll have 2 corn chaff fields. I may need it. I mean, I was not expecting to get, when I said the goal by the end of this year would be 300 cattle, I was like, yeah, it's going to be kind of tight getting there, and here we are, October, and we're at 300 cattle. So, actually, I was going to say, what, 325 maybe for a total? But we're at 313. Yeah, I don't want to make another goal for the year. I said 300 we got there, so... but by the end of next season, I'd like to be up to 500. I think that might be a bit of a push, but... it's not up to me, it's to the cows. And eventually, when we buy... that's field 15 right over there. We're going to take this field that we're harvesting, the one that we're going to harvest after the episode, on field number 15, and merge all those together and make another cereal crop / soybean field. And that is all for straw, because I think in bedding, I'm using about 25,000 liters of straw per day for bedding. So you can see in the future, I'm going to probably use like 2 bales, 3 bales, and maybe up to 4 bales a day at 80,000, I mean, like a total of 80,000 liters just for bedding in a day. So we got to make sure we got plenty of fields to supply that much straw. And that was just for bedding. That doesn't count what we need for TMR mixtures. I am also thinking, and this is just thinking, these are ideas, not plans. So if our TMR mixer is having a hard time keeping up, or I'm having a hard time keeping up, I may put down another TMR mixer. It won't be an automatic feeder like we currently have. But I can get myself another TMR mixer, and I can get myself a feeder I don't even know what they're even called now. I'm having a brain fart. Animals, silo kings. Yeah, so this one right here, I'd probably use a motto one because that one holds 60,000 liters. So I could, mix our own TMR. Actually, no, I don't need to do that. I don't have the mod installed, but I can just, the TMR mixer will make TMR. I don't need a Silo King. Silo King makes TMR, so you have to put the straw, hay, and silage into it. Another mixer, I could just go ahead. Do we use that on the Pacific Northwest? I may have used that in the Pacific Northwest. That TMR mixer. I believe we did. And that holds a lot of TMR. So I could go ahead and put a whole bunch of stuff into that as well and have it pre-made. And that way I can just have a lot of TMR ready to go. Don't plan to do that anytime soon, but when we get to like maybe 7, 800, 1,000 cattle, I may need to do something like that just to go ahead and keep up. So yeah, after this episode and the next episode you see, I'm going to have a lot of hours into Griffin, Indiana, because like I said, I'm going to try to put one season into 2 episodes. And I still got some more work to do here. I got to harvest that field over there. It's going to be a lot of work, but I just want to move the series on a little bit. And yeah, we've been doing the same procedures here in these fields now for a couple of seasons. So it's not like you don't know what goes on here. This was the only thing I was kind of concerned about the series when I thought about, having 2,000 cows or working our way up to 2,000 cows. And like, it can get kind of repetitive. So I think just by fast forwarding to a year is what we kind of need to do. But the farm is starting to get fine-tuned. After last episode with the forage harvester, I think we got that all set. The combining has been fine. This 10T, modded 10T that we got works out great. Never thought when I first started playing Farming Simulator that I would have a combine that would need it to hold 120,000 liters of grain. And even then, sometimes I'd be too busy to try to find time to go and load it as the workers working in the field. But here we are. And next year, the money should come in really good. Because you saw how many soybeans we had already. Now, field number 16 over there. I have not done any precision farming on that yet, so that field's not going to yield as well as the ones we've done. But we get what we get. But when I finally do merge all these fields together, we'll do precision farming on all the fields, or the one field. It should be good to go. And speaking of precision farming, I don't know if you saw, and I don't know if I mentioned it in this series or not, but if you've been watching my With a Farm series, I got a T8 tractor on that one there, and that's a modded T8 tractor. There is no 3-point linkage on the front, so I put the crop sensor on the back of the tractor, and it doesn't work. The only way to get it work was I had to drive backwards. That was fun. They don't put that in the mod description. That really only should go on the front of a tractor. If you put it on the back of the tractor, you got to drive backwards in order for that crop sensor to actually work. So I'm thinking I can probably get that field number 16 harvested without filling up this combine. I will let Frank or Frank Jr. take over those duties. I'll go ahead and grab the Peterbilt, bring that up, dump that soybean in there because I'm not sure if I can fit all the grain into the tray that we have. And while they're finishing up the harvesting, I'm going to put the Steiger and the John Deere 1870 away, the air tank, And I don't want to say I'm pretty much done for the year, because the one thing I still need to do is, let me teleport. Yeah, here will work. Because we walk in the field, I am going to put down some fertilizer. So I'm pretty sure it's going to... It's only showing me the pH value. Why is it not showing me the nitrogen? Does this field need to be crop censored? Okay, the nitrogen is completely bad. Why is it not showing me the nitrogen in the field? Well, the good thing is the page is showing me that it needs nitrogen. It's not outdated data, but it definitely needs some nitrogen put down. Interesting. But either way, yeah, I'll bring down the Voltra with the cow spreader and put a worker on that, because they'll drop directly from the barn. Get that field fertilized, and then when the crop grows again, I'll put another layer of fertilizer down on it. But pretty much this season is just about over. Well, it's over for you, in a way, for field work. But yeah, like I said, next episode, I hope to have to where we're doing a highlighted season, if you will. So we'll see how that goes. If the first episode goes, if I find out when I put it together, it goes together well, I'll do the second half of the season that way as well. But we're going to kind of like fast forward the year and compact it in one season into 2 episodes, I hope. At least that's my idea and plan, I guess. But anyways, that's going to do it for today, guys. Hopefully you guys did enjoy the episode. I do appreciate you watching as always. I'll catch you again right here in Griffin, Indiana. But until then, have a good one.